Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, we are joined by Neil, Sensual Goat, Adam, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Me, I'm alright. How are you all doing? You had a good weekend? How's Discord doing? Chatty as ever?
Hello.
Hello, good to have you all. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? That's a horizon formerly known as Earth curve.
Well, from what I hear, if you're flying a plane, even up to 50,000 feet high, you could see Earth curve.
What?
Yeah, I was going to say what?
Good morning.
Yeah, that's what I heard Saturday. The pilot said 100%.
100%. Is it?
So do we go by what people say now? Is that it? So trust me, bro. I'm saying I see Earth curve, therefore just take my word for it. If it's
He's a pilot. He's an experienced pilot. He knows better.
Is that a
Neil
yes then?
deGrasse Tyson is not.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, I guess some people buy it. You know,
But the
we
flight,
know Earth is meant to fly.
Yes, we've got flight data though, have we not? We can acquire the information regarding the flight and how it's logged, charted, measured. Flat, Neil. So, given that the data coming from black boxes shows just how flat Earth really is, with measurements, I don't really care what the pilot says.
I agree 100% with you. And I said it Saturday. This is all for ball cope. It's to help the ballers cope with the fact that they know that Earth is flat. They knew it all along. Now they just need some medicine. So you get a guy like a pilot to say, I've seen Earth curve, yes, from 50,000 feet, 100%. Now they can cope with things.
Yeah, you have to repeat the lie often. So we're getting involved with a lie that's being repeated by people who want to believe it in a self-perpetuating cyclical lie about a heliocentric world that cannot exist given how we measure Earth. And given that we measure Earth as a flat surface, everybody's going to be acutely aware of it if they've ever dealt with Earth and its surface. So that's going to be cognitively difficult if you are under the religious belief that Earth's actually spherical when you know you're measuring it flat. Now, as you look into Earth and how it's spherical because you want to affirm that bias, you quickly find out that no, those aspects wouldn't be spherical. In this case, you're saying seeing Earth curve from altitude. So you get contradictory opinions. A man says, that's so big, it's flat, or that stuff is flat, Tyson. And another guy says, I see the curve from my aeroplane. All right, well, let's just go to the measurements. Oh, what do you know, flat as always. Yeah, Earth's measured flat. In all respects, in every single person's viewpoint, doesn't matter what they look at it as, it's measured flat. It's dealt with flat, flown over flat, sailed on flat, charted flat. So who gives a crap what the pilot says? Who gives a crap what Tyson says? Earth's flat.
I agree 100%. And what video you should be going over is Fisherman in a Box from Sunday. He was doing O'Brien's video, our own Brian. How he caught Bob the science guy saying the exact same thing Brian was saying. And now he's
I'm sorry.
contradicting it.
I'm sorry. How is this any of our problem?
Isn't
If all of a sudden that we're being told we could see curvature from globe head pilots, right? That would be a problem with all the defenders of this globe nonsense who want to tell us it's too big to measure that very curve that he's talking about. We're seeing again all of a sudden. Maybe they need to work that out before come checking us, because that sounds like a problem within their own crappy story paradigm narrative. So
Well,
yeah.
that's it. They're not debunking anything. They're just putting information out there that's false. And other ballers will just grab onto it and say, yeah, see, even a pilot said it.
Yeah.
Cold medicine.
Keep doing it. Keep making your own side look crazy as shit. When half of y'all are running around like it's too big to measure the curve, and the other half are like, we can see the curve from a plane. Okay, have fun with that. When your very high priest astrophysicist tells you can't see that shit from about 24 miles up, that's a problem for you guys.
it
Not
isn't?
us.
Yeah, well,
We're
it's
over
a
here
problem.
chilling.
It's a problem, and it isn't, because their issue is created out of necessity on the globe side as well. There's plenty of dissonance between ballers. Now, when you get this reported back from the servers that are ball believing, you're like, oh, that's interesting. So there's plenty of dissension amongst the ranks and arguments amongst ballers about how it should be ball-shaped. Okay, fair enough. Well, that makes perfect sense. You need it to be argued about whether or not you can see Earth curve from altitude or can't see Earth curve from altitude. So it's kept in that argument on the ball side, similar to how we're kept in these stupid arguments. Meanwhile, whether a pilot says he can and Tyson says he can't, or, contrapositive, Tyson says you can see it at altitude from the ISS, right? Or the guy says you can't see it even if he's got Earth curve maths in it. Who cares? Earth's measured flat. Let's look at Earth curve measurements. Oh, what do you know? They rely on Earth being flat too. Surface level, parallel with eye level. You'll need a flat Earth for both of those to exist at all, ever. So Earth's going to be flat when we start measuring it and asserting we've got Earth curve. What about height of Earth curve? Well, off surface level for the altitude assertion. You'll need a flat Earth for that too. Every bit of this requires the surface of Earth be a flat plane to detail these aspects of what men might or might not see at height measured off a flat Earth. So it's totally inconsequential, but it keeps the ballers in this same cognitive loop of arguing about it from within their paradigm that they do believe in. We're given feast and nonsense arguments to argue about how it's not working from outside the paradigm, but we'll still be arguing about it. Who gives a toss? Earth's measured flat. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
How could there be axial rotation if Earth is flat, Nathan? It's a silly question.
Well, axial rotation's always described flat, so if you want to assert that Earth as a globe's got an axial rotation, you'll need a flat plane to describe it. What do you think a non-inertial turning reference frame is? Do you think that's spherical? Absolutely not. Flat plane. Describing inertial planes of reference. Right, Neil? Rotations describe flat. We can take angular descriptions of the sky, and do. We take those measurements. Got a flat sky, though, when we measure those angles. We can create a model afterwards. We can depict it spherically, hemispherically, from any position. You can create a second model, sandwich it antipodal, and have a dome, spherically, of the heavens. It's on screen now, right? That's what we can create. But you've got to start somewhere. You start by measuring the sky flat, with a flat ground, and then you take a log of the angles that you measure. Well, you're going to need a flat ground for those angles as well. That's your starting point. As long as you've got a principle that you can utilise, that the ground's flat and the sky's flat, parallel with it. And as you raise in altitude, that remains consistent. Eye level. Yeah, it's level, yeah, it's parallel with the ground, yeah. Everything we do always relies upon Earth being flat. Axiomatically. Doesn't matter what you do if you take measurements. You're going to need Earth to be flat. Horizontal, perpendicular, everything. Built into the axioms of measuring things. Miles, distances, speeds, it's all related to a flat Earth. Everything. all roads lead to a flat Earth, always, without exception. Flat planes of reference to describe rotation are no exception.
The other day at the job, I had to build something, and the instructions, the final instruction was, because it's one of those things where you build it upside down. So the final instruction on the sheet of paper was, flip the device around and set on a level surface. And I had a little chuckle to myself, like, like, so there are people that would tell me that this would mean a curved surface. Just had a little laugh to myself about it, because I was just like, this is how ridiculous these people are.
Yeah.
Like, the simple instructions just say level, and we all know what that means until a certain conversation starts, and then all of a sudden it's curved. It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous because it defies the axiomatic principle that the instruction relies upon to be clear and accurate and concise for you to do something functionally. Yeah? Functionally,
Exactly.
you require that axiom. So when someone says level's curved, you can't violate the law of non-contradiction. So no. But every globe belief is just that. It's based on a defiance of an axiomatic principle of level.
And the social rejection and humiliation that they should feel for doing that is then projected onto us.
Yeah,
How
if
lovely.
they, very well put, if they internalise that fear of a recognition of the Earth they know to be flat, their concerns of the ridicule stop them from internalising and recognising any of their preordained notions of Earth being spherical, because it's actually very much aware to them flat. We're talking about the people that deal with us on a daily basis. If they've looked into the subject at some point, they'll have told themselves, oh, that's only flat because it's so big. No, it's only so flat because you're measuring it. And it must be so. But you'll justify it because it's big. Yeah. Everyone in this subject knows it's flat. That's my contention currently. Unless someone's going to come along and say, no, I'm in this subject and I have never once uttered the words, oh yeah, we'll be measuring that bit flat, but that's only because it's so big. Ask yourself, have you ever said that? Have you ever justified why you'd need it to be flat in any circumstances? Just think, if you're a baller listening to this right now. So big it's flat? Really? Is that the measurement that's flat that you'll need? Absolutely, yes, of course it is. Because it's flat. Earth is flat. Shock and awe, horror. They're idiots. They don't understand this not seeing ball based on what this pilot's told me. They just don't understand as I project out that fear. Meanwhile, Earth's flat. That's how it's measured. Deal with it. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
The way that I can measure that is from a flat plane.
I don't think you can measure the distance to it. You can get the altitude
Yeah, what's
angle.
the distance? Sorry, Nathan. If you could measure it from a flat plane, then I should have a distance, no?
No, we don't have a
Well,
distance.
altitude in celestial is not a height, it's an angle.
Yeah, so we won't get the distance from that. It's just an angle, as Bev would say. The altitude angle, i.e. the angle that you'd measure to a star in the sky or the sun. Like over an Antarctic plane, if you're going to observe the sun above the horizontal for 24 hours straight, you'll be measuring two straight lines to form an angle measurement of the sun. That's an altitude angle or elevation angle. Well, it doesn't tell you how high the sun is. It tells you the angle of the sun when measuring what you could call its altitude, because it's the angle measured for its altitude with respect to the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. Any scientific evidence of gravity? $50 people watching. If you happen to be watching this and have stumbled your way into this show, 59 people watching, then you can join. There is a link beneath this video, and if you want to express your views on the nature of Earth because you're aghast at the flat descriptions of the measurements Earth will always have, then you can join the Discord server. You have to be voice verified by clicking the link underneath the video, and you can express your views. Tell me how wrong I am, how globe-shaped it's definitely being measured. Of course. So feel free to join if you wanted to. I know I say it at the beginning of the show, but often there's very few people watching as soon as I press the start button. But with a handful of people watching, the rest of you, thank you very much for sharing the show. The only reason we've got almost 60 people watching is because regulars who come along smash the share button. So if you've not done so already, please smash the share button. Stick it on your favourite social media platform, be that Bebo or MySpace or Skype or whatever it is you're using. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Do they even work in hypotheses?
They've got plenty of phenomena to study.
Well, how are they going to vary it?
That's not my bad, is it? I'm not in those fields, but if you see a phenomena, you can easily suggest a cause for the phenomena you've observed and vary and manipulate it in an experiment, if you choose to. That's just not what those fields do, and you know it and I know it.
So it's not science.
No.
I mean, it's a hell of a grift, right? Just, look at all types of phenomena, make up a story of it, of what's going on in your head, and then tell it to people, and then you get paid for that. Look at that.
Pretty sweet. Just so stories. That's right, Neil. Probably on Thursday, I would suspect. Oh, he's dropped. Well, that's probably for the best, I would suggest. What about any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
I mean, the farthest we've ever dug was about 7-8 miles, right?
Yeah. Kola borehole out in Russia somewhere. I think it's about 8 miles, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, about 7 and change.
Almost 40,000 miles.
There's just a little bit to go then.
They'll get there.
I don't think they will. They kept on destroying the little bits that they have. I say little, they're not tiny, but they got so deep and they just didn't go any deeper. It's almost like chewing through chewing gum. From some of the things I've read about it. Meanwhile, any evidence of a molten iron core? At the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth, of course. Or any evidence of the R value, Earth radius itself, at 3959 miles.
None that haven't been black swanned away.
Yeah, we destroyed the radius in 2028. Well, what about any evidence you can acquire, as we were discussing a moment ago? An elevation angle measurement, like to the sun, over an Antarctic plain, for an example, with a curved baseline.
Even if they could, they don't. It's always from level.
Yeah, all elevation angles, always. Including but not limited to the ones that create a ball, for people who might be watching this now, believing. Yeah, you'll create that ball fascination and belief, I should say, not relief, belief, with flat Earth elevation angle measurements. That's the origin of your belief in a ball. What about any evidence that you can have gas pressure, like we're all breathing, without a container? So there must be containment. That's right. Anybody who doesn't realise the implications. Go ahead, whoever that was. Adam. Okay, fair enough. Did you want to add something, Adam? Maybe not. I think that's it. Did we cover them all? Is that all the housekeeping questions? Gas pressure without a container was the last one, I think.
Pitch data.
Any evidence you can have pitch data on a globe? That Liam, who whispered that.
Yeah, and no. Pitch data proves that Earth is flat.
That is the most recent addition, though, isn't it? To be fair to me. Go on, Adam. Are you just going to add the crackling each time? You're opening your mic and crackling and not saying anything, Adam.
I didn't notice. I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah, it's the most recent housekeeping question. Any evidence that you can have pitch data on a globe? Clearly not. We do have a video to cover. Go on, whoever that was, Adam.
I said it was just up and down over level. I'm sorry if there's a delay. I see it now.
Yeah, we'll be measuring it with respect to level, no matter what we're measuring. So we do have a video to cover today. Although I do want to talk about what I've been doing over the weekend, because I've been buying nostalgic pieces of equipment to play with. So over the last couple of months, I've been boring the pants off everybody talking about the various different microphones I've been buying to do various different tasks. So pretty much all of the things that I need a microphone for are covered now. My mic locker, if you want to call it that, has got every element that I need covered. So I've got this, which I'm talking to you through now, a shotgun mic. I've got a little gooseneck mic that's for my daughter to do her little podcast when she plays the games, because she likes putting YouTube videos together, because she likes being like Daddy, which is really sweet. So I've got a little gooseneck mic for her, and then I've got a mic that I use to do voiceovers on edited videos, which is like a large diaphragm mic. Other than that, I've got one which is surplus that I bought to try and didn't like, which is on eBay. And everything else that I bought in the meantime that you might have seen me making videos about has already been sold on eBay, including my old shotgun mic, my old Rode mic that typically this show was made with. Along the process, I've also bought all sorts of interfaces and sold various different bits and bobs that go along with these mics to make them work for anybody who's doing the same as I, making podcasts or making music on a computer or whatever they're doing. So today's purchase was actually for Adam. So I sent Adam a cheap Chinesium mic that was ripping off a Sennheiser, and he's received that. And he's like, how do I plug it in to the computer? Because it's an XLR mic that needs phantom power. I'm like, oh, okay. So I've gone and ordered him an audio interface, which will hopefully arrive with him by the end of the week, for him to then say, how do I get the software to work? And so on and so forth. So that was my most recent purchase today. But over the weekend, I bought a couple of mics that were a bit more nostalgic. One that will inevitably stay in my mic locker, if you want to call it that, which will be for my younger daughter, who's becoming more and more keen on singing, as opposed to the eldest daughter that likes podcasting. So she's always picking up hairdryers and fake singing into them. So I've bought a 1970s version of a mic used by ABBA. So they're seen in all sorts of pictures holding this mic that was also used by Gorbachev and various other European dignitaries when they were talking into mics at podiums. So this particular mic has got a version of it that I've bought nice and cheap on eBay for that purpose. But while I was looking for that mic, just a nice dynamic mic, I came across an old and fragile bit of memorabilia, if you will, which was a Beatles microphone, one that was famously used in Abbey Road on almost everything to record the Beatles. And, you know, if you listen to a Beatles track, there's a good chance you've listened to it through this particular AKG D19 microphone. Now, I found one that's broken, and these, when working, can go for several £100s, which I definitely wasn't going to pay for a broken one, given that it might be a bleeding paperweight if I can't get it fixed. Now, it's a bit of a gamble, but a pretty gamble, because I'll show it when I finally get it this week sometime. I don't mind necessarily if it does end up being a paperweight, because it's kind of just a cool bit of nostalgia that might hopefully inspire my daughters at some stage. Or I might be able to turn it into a working microphone and sell it for a profit. We'll see. It's a gamble either way, but it's not a massively expensive gamble at about £80. So I've got a Beatles mic that's on its way to me. I've also got a ABBA mic that's on the way. So I'll put those on videos and show people. One of them will actually do work. That'll be the ABBA microphone, which is just a useful, nice sounding dynamic microphone. Weird that I'd have ended up buying something from the 70s. I just happen to like the sound of and what it does. But that's how things work out, and it's reasonably priced. So I'll show that when I get a video of it. As I say, the other one is a Beatles mic, which is badged Telefunken, which in and of itself kind of what appealed to me. It just looks very cool. So I'll show that when it comes. It's got some interesting technology, even though broken. It might be that I can show what it was doing back in the 50s and 60s to make it a cool microphone. So that might end up being turned around for a loss for all I know. Who knows? It's an interesting bit of nostalgia that I'll certainly make at least one video out of that'll make me 50 cents. So definitely well worth it. So yeah, I'll show you those when they come on. Other than Adam's interface, I don't think there's anything else. Load of mic stands that I've bought for the various mics that I've recently purchased. But this is kind of the end of that particular era, even though it's only lasted 2 or 3 months, because like I say, I've got all the tools I now need. This Neumann shotgun mic is exceptional. Somebody left a comment on one of my videos saying about Sennheisers that people claim are the industry standard, and they're not. You know, people who do Foley use the Neumanns, and people who are out on location use Sheps, as I can attest to, having gone round the, Harry Potter soundstage. They've got all the images of them filming it, and they're all using bright blue Sheps CMIT mics. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense. That's what people use. So yeah, these Neumanns are about as good as it gets. So I'm very happy with my microphone that I'm broadcasting to you live now through. It's a shotgun mic that doesn't have to be right on top of me, which I very much like. And yeah, if you hear any of my edited videos, it'll be through an AKG that's ripping off a Neumann. So it's got a Neumann circuit that they basically stole from Neumann, and then they've got a manufacturer to rip off the Neumann diaphragm. So it's got a what's it called? Should remember, a Techstar diaphragm that's ripping off a U67 Neumann capsule. So it's a 1-for-1 copy of a Neumann U87i from the 60s. So this mic is just a Neumann badged AKG. So that's what I do my voiceovers with. So there we go, that's my mic locker, and probably won't be boring with people with it other than the Beatles and ABBA mic when they arrive this week. I can't think of anything else that I've recently purchased, but it means I can finally draw a close to talking about mics and buying them, because I literally haven't got anything else to have a requirement to purchase, in case people are like, thank God, I'm so sick of listening to microphones. It's like, well, if you were here 3 years ago, you'd been listening to me bore pants off everyone with acoustic treatment talk, because that's what I was doing then. So I've got a live show, and if I choose to talk about what I happen to be doing at the time, when I'm reinvesting in the show, which is the only reason I'm buying mics, and the same with acoustic treatment, so that the show's better. That's the only reason for doing it. It's all just me reinvesting in myself as a YouTuber. So there we go. Should we cover a bit of, what's his face? Planet Peterson? Or did anybody want to talk about mics for a bit longer? Highly doubtful. Yes, Nathan, tell us more about microphones. Oh, well, I mean, if you insist. Right, obviously not. This is Planet Peterson. Please let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that does not immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots or Planet Peterson himself. There is a link whizzing its way by in the live stream chat as we speak. I'll just stick that on screen, actually, so you can see that I'm doing this in all sincerity. The idea being that were Planet Peterson to respond to this video, he'd do the same for me and stick a link to my video in his. So that would be the idea of us sharing the YouTube algorithmic love by way of sending my audience to Planet Peterson's to leave him a nice little comment, leave him a nice little message, let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. with a polite comment alluding to the fact that we have covered his video today, because that is precisely what we will be doing. So the title of this video is Same Old Flat Earth Talking Points. We may agree on some of these things. Have you watched this already, Liam?
Enough to know that it's relevant for the show.
Yeah. Do we... Hold on, relevant. That's not what I asked. Will we agree with him on some of these points?
Yeah, the flat earther isn't very adept.
Oh, he's critiquing somebody. Oh, okay, I maybe got the wrong idea about what the video is. Oh, okay. This is going to be same old for us then, isn't it? We get into it? Anybody got any comments before we get into this about Planet Peterson? Anybody had any involvement with Planet Peterson?
Just to know that when he first came on the scene, Nathan, he agreed to debate you, but yet he's yet to turn up here. It's funny that.
I don't care if he does or he doesn't. I mean, the door's always open, right? People who want to debate me can. People who don't can moan and say I've got a mute button. Yeah, okay.
Now, don't forget about my other book, Rational Answers to Stupid Questions.
'80s daytime TV.
You're asking if we have a
Go on.
model for how Earth keeps its water down? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's death because it has no container.
Hey, you don't have down on a ball. Down, what, perpendicular to a plane? You can't use these terms, Peterson, right? If you're going to start grilling a flat earther, don't use our terms, right? Start off easy.
How we keep water what? Depth?
Yep.
Okay. Why?
You don't get to describe depth of water. You can only have that on a plane. Yeah? The depth of the water is still with respect to horizontal, going down with respect to a plane, perpendicular to it also. Stop using our terms.
Why would it have to have a container?
Well, that's the only logical explanation to how the water can have its depth on Earth.
It's contained by the continental shelf and the atmosphere.
Atmosphere? Atmosphere's an oxymoron. You can't have sphere-shaped air, Peterson. Right? Sphere is a shape. Air, that's a mixture of gases. Gases take the shape of their containment. They spread out equally in all directions. Always. It's the law of nature. It's described with the second law of thermodynamics. Entropic dispersion. Gas fills space. You don't have sphere-shaped gas. That's nonsense. It's an oxymoron.
Okay, but do you have a model to prove that?
Yes, it's called the globe.
Okay, let's see if Peterson shows the globe model. We've been here 10 years, Peterson. No one's ever shown it. Ever. So you're cocky, but you won't be showing it. I absolutely guarantee it. I'll stick £10 million on it.
You can't prove the globe with the globe.
You just said the globe. It could be just as simple as just a globe.
Absolutely, Chocolate. You're about as clear as his guest.
You can use the globe to make predictions.
So where? What? You didn't show it us. What? The words that you just used, the globe, those are just empty words until you show us a globe model, as you alluded to having. You won't. That's why I stuck £10 million on you not showing it, because it doesn't exist. 10 years we've been asking. Quantum Eraser came along and said, have you actually asked? First person he did this with. I picked it up on it immediately because I used to watch a channel called Cathexis. And Cathexis was talking to a guy called Gem Panda, who's still around to this day. And Cathexis says to Gem Panda, in response to an illusion like you've given, that there's a model called the globe model. And Cathexis very casually, says to Gem Panda, can you show me that model? And it descended into chaos pretty damn quickly, because there isn't one. What are you going to go and show us? Yeah, we're never going to get to the globe model, because it's an apparition. It's an imagining. You think there's a model. You'll never show it. Yeah? I'll challenge that. I'll lay that down all day long to any of you monkeys that are new in this game, Peterson being one of them. Globe model? Okay, show us, dum-dum.
And then demonstrate beyond a shadow of a doubt that it does accurately represent reality.
Okay, let's see it then. Yeah? You won't, dickhead. Yeah? You're just full of guff. You think you've got some model that you can lean on somebody else to give you. Okay, give it us. Now, I remember when you first got here and you were like, please help me out in the comments if you can help me square this circle, die. Yeah, I remember. You're bleating to your commenters to tell you the answers to these problems, Peterson. And now you are, a few years down the line, reaching out to the heavens for some etheric model that doesn't exist. Show us. Where's this all-answering model you speak of, dum-dum?
So, there you go.
To the method, you're going to need a model for that. So
yeah, it's called the globe.
But his guest just said, let's see it. I mean, he rumpused him and repeated what we'd already heard. The globe, yeah, we heard that already, dickhead. Do you think you needed to rumpus the question he was asking? Let's see it. But that got rumpused by Peterson reiterating something we'd already heard. Yo, dumbass. Sounds like your guest's about to have you over a barrel. Let's see how you get on.
And the globe successfully makes predictions, and the flat Earth...
Yeah, we heard you the first time. Yeah, let's see it. He's just asked you to show it. Of course, you talk straight through it because you detected he might be asking you for something.
Earth has never, ever made one prediction.
Right, now you're reversing the burden because you're being asked to show it. You're telling him what he's never done by stereotype. What a wanker. So immediately flipping the burden, wanker. Oh, well, let's just call this like it is. Peterson's a wanker. He's been asked to show his model that he's just laboured how amazing it is. Immediately, the moment he's asked to show it, you've never been able to prove anything in your predictions. Flip the burden. What a pathetic coward. Just back your bullshit there, Peterson. You got this amazing model that's never been wrong. Show it. Like you were asked to before you interrupted.
Ever.
Yes.
You guys tried.
Keep talking, right? Keep the verbal diarrhea up, shit for brains. Yeah? This is why coward assholes like Peterson claim I've got a mute burn in defence of not coming. Because this asshole needs to be able to control the narrative where he doesn't now shut up. He's been asked to show something. I heard it clear as day. Did anybody here not hear his guest with a crap mic say, let's see it? Did anybody not hear that? Because if so, I'll go right, I'll rewind it so we can hear it. We can all hear it again. No? We all heard that, yeah? Did we all hear the guest ask him to show the model?
Sure did. I did, for certain.
Right, Peterson, you seem to have just developed this verbal diarrhea where you're chatting shit straight through the top of your guest there. You bleeding coward.
Remember when you shone the light, and then you're like, if it's flat, we'll be able to see it.
So, speak a bit louder. You coward. This is a telling set of circumstances that befall us now today, ladies and gentlemen. This is his fear, isn't it? You keep rumpusing him, babbling about what he hasn't done. You pathetic coward.
And then they're like, oh, we can't see the light. And then they said, raise it.
And then they said, and then he said, and then we said, and then she said. Do you need to create an entire narrative of characters around this obfuscation of his question that he asked you? Show us the model you just said was answering everything. Don't tell me what I can't do and what he said to she said. You stupid, pathetic little obfuscating twat. Model. Where is it? Show us.
It up to account for curvature, and then they raised it up, and then they could see the light, and then they went, huh.
And now he's strawmanning it with something that Jaron did. This guy Jaron has already left this cult of flat Earth that you guys want to stereotype us with, because he didn't know Earth was measured flat. He was holding up lasers and bits of cardboard. Yeah? What a wanker. Yeah, we knew it was measured flat because the entire world and its infrastructure are built on it.
And then the documentary ended right then and there.
Oh, you sound rather nervous. Did we all hear that? Listen to it again. You sound pretty nervous with your verbal diarrhea. Obfuscation to his question about seeing the model that's got the answers to everything. Let's hear that little quiver in your voice, Peterson, you abject coward.
Raise it up to account for curvature, and then they raised it up, and then they could see the light, and then they went, huh. And then the documentary ended right then and there. Remember that?
Okay, ignoring the flat Earth model, and you just gave me an explanation for that using the scientific method. Because if you can't, then your theory is false. Your hypothesis is false.
He doesn't have a hypothesis, and he hadn't suggested he got one. So your opponent on the flat Earth side's taking some of the aspects of the things that we discuss here and butchering them. Where did you scrape this guy up from, Peterson? Yeah, nice low-hanging fruit. This guy's butchering his rebuttal to you there, isn't he? He doesn't really know what he's talking about. But that's presumably why he's in front of you, right? Nice and easy for you to deal with. Yeah, also very telling. This nobody that you're dealing with, right? He's ballsing it up.
It's literally not false if I can't give an accounting for it. Gravity, there was no theory behind the
That was a bit of a terrible sentence fragment.
Universal gravitation that Einstein revealed.
Doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about here. He's scrambling his way through this stuff that's probably quite new to him.
But it successfully made countless predictions.
You think gravity's something with predictive capabilities, do you? It's a pseudo-geometry, stupid shit for brains. Pseudo-geometries don't make predictions. What a dickhead. You have no idea what you're babbling about, do you, Peterson? You think Einsteinian, pseudo-Riemannian bent space-time can make predictions? Au contraire. What a clown.
Nonetheless. So it is an accurate description of...
Oh, sorry. A minute ago it was making predictions. Now it's a description. Which one is it? Is it a predictive tool or is it a descriptive tool? Sounds like you don't know what you're talking about much, Peterson. Yeah? That's why your wavering voice tells us you're chatting shit and you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, because you'd have some confidence in your tone. You don't.
Reality, even if some underlying part of it was hidden, it still was an accurate representation of reality.
Some of what was hidden? What the bloody hell are you babbling about, man? If something about gravity that hadn't been mentioned until you brought it up was hidden, like, do you manage to keep track of your own stupid thoughts much? What are you babbling about?
So, you want to know why does the water on Earth sit there?
No, he said there must be containment for the water. He made a statement.
So it's contained.
At least I can keep track of what his guest said. Go ahead. About his guest trying to get a word in.
Inside the continental shelves, and air pressure keeps it down, and gravity makes things...
Air pressure? Now, you said that there was sphere-shaped, oxymoronic sphere-shaped air. I took the dump on that crap, didn't I? Yes, I did. His opponent didn't address it because he was butchering science and needing theories.
Fall to the ground.
What?
So it's contained inside the continental shelves, and air pressure keeps it down, and gravity makes things fall to the ground.
What, like gas? Sorry, do you wade around in your farts, do you, Peterson? Yeah? The gas come out your ass and fall down to the ground for you to swim around in it, does it? Or does it disperse throughout your house, letting everyone around you know how dirty and stinky you are? I'm pretty sure gas spreads out to fill available volume there. It doesn't go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash, you unbelievable spastic. Where you dropped on your frickin' head. Gas doesn't go down. Do you think gas is produced in the sky and falls down like rain? No. It goes up from the ground to form the clouds in the water cycle. Well, you're not taught this in high school, you stupid spastic. Gas doesn't go down, go boom, boom. Idiot. My God, Peterson's retarded, isn't he? Is he actually retarded? Peterson, are you actually retarded? I'd like to know.
He's definitely disingenuous.
Well, he's just told us the gas go down, go boom, boom, because of the predictive capabilities of the descriptions of bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry. Spastic much? No wonder you're stuttering around this shite that you haven't got a clue about. Wrong on every front, much.
Don't worry, he's got a description of the prediction and a prediction of the description. That's it's okay.
I mean, it's giving me a headache keeping track of his nonsense. I mean, me, I can keep track of this shit, even though it is complete shit, and summarise it accurately to get a laugh at the end of it. But you're stuttering around this shit that you haven't even learnt properly. It's your religion, by the way, Peterson. You dumbass. You'd think you'd bleed and learn it. Me, I'm your opponent. I know this shit like the back of my hand. The garbage that you failed to give a decent rendition of just now to an opponent. Not even a decent opponent. It's not like you've got a decent opponent that's going to rip you a new one at any stage. My God, this is pathetic.
Okay, but where's your model? Recreate a model.
What does that even mean?
It's simple English. Dropped on your head much, spastic. Where is your model? I picked up on it. I asked every one of the guests around me if they understood what was being asked. They all affirmed that they did. We were all pretty clear what was being asked there, spastic. Why the hell are you even here? Yeah? Can you not cope with simple English? Where is your model? The one that you babbled on about how fucking fantastic it is, you stupid retard. The one you told us was all-knowing and all-predicting? Yeah? That one. Show it, dickhead.
Show me that on a model that can happen. That's just how it works.
Go outside.
Sorry, you were dropped on your head, weren't you? When someone asks me if I've got a model after my claim of having a model, my response is not go outside. Can I see the new Ford Taurus? Go outside. No, what I'd like to see is the new model, please, of Ford Taurus. Can you show me the new model? You should go outside, said the dealer. Yeah, then I walked out and went and reported him to the mental institution for being utterly retarded. Sorry, you've just said you've got an all-seeing, all-knowing model. Do you think stepping outside... just wait a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just be right back. Yo, Peterson, I'm just going to go and check. You stupid spastic. It's where I can see. I just went outside. What a spastic. There was no model. I just went outside. There was nothing out there, Peterson. I went out and had a look outside. You wanker. I just wasted my time because you were dropped on your head, you stupid muppet. There was nothing out there. There was no all-seeing model telling me about gravity and about how I made gas go down, go boom, boom. You pleb.
You got it all wrong. If you go outside, right, what you have outside is the ground that we're also told, what you have outside is the ground that we're told is too big to measure the Earth, the curve of the Earth. That's the model of the globe right there.
Nobody told me nothing. I just went outside, no ground, spoke a word.
You sure it didn't give you a prediction of the description?
No, I went out and shockingly, I saw clouds. The water vapour was going up, unlike this spastic's nonsense he's put on the internet.
Yeah, but Nathan, the globe makes predictions. So if you went outside and observed the globe, then you should have got a prediction to go with.
No, that was just me observing the natural habitat I inhabit. Why would that be a prediction? That's just me observing the world around me. That's not a spastic who was dropped on his head in his prediction that the globe's all-seeing and all-knowing. Also is describing. I mean, he doesn't quite know if it's a predictive tool or a descriptive tool, but I mean, it's spastic here that's dropped on his head. He's out there putting stuff on the internet. Give that man 10 million views.
You absolutely can, because we have models that are descriptions of the Earth, and then you go out into...
Yeah, he's asked you twice to show him, you stupid retard. Yeah, reiterating, yeah, we've got them. Yeah, we've got them. They're at the back. Okay, yeah. Fuck off out the back and go get it.
Into the real world.
Plural, Nathan. Now it's more than one.
We've got more than one model out the back. We've got lumps of it round the back.
And you test those descriptions on the planet.
I was going to say it's the globe models. Like the Lone Rangers.
And then that's how you can confirm it. So, for example, on a globe...
So this is just your verbal rendition of what would occur on a globe. This isn't a model. These are the words of a man dropped on his head. This is not a model. So are we going to concede now that you were just lying, bullshitting? It was all bravado and nonsense that you'd made up when you said that there's this all-seeing, all-knowing, predictive, describing model that's actually go outside. That was the extent of you proving that shit and bravado that you spouted. Yeah, I did it. I did go outside. You heard me, hopefully. Going outside and checking whether that shit that you said was actually true or not. And shockingly, it wasn't. Meanwhile, your assertions that gas go down, go boom, boom were debunked by me. My name's Nathan Oakley. I'm not a spastic. I was not dropped on my head by my mother. You are a spastic. Why the hell are you making material for public consumption?
If you're in the southern hemisphere,
Southern, you are a globe believer. You don't get to use southern. Southern is a direction on a plane. Stop using our flat earth measurements. Hemisphere, what the description of the measurement of the angles to the stars of a flat plane to develop a hemispherical model in the south. Yeah, that's a flat plane that's been used to create that, you stupid clown. You don't get to use that. Now you're starting to piss me off. Don't use our stuff.
if you have two people in the southern hemisphere and they go south, they
South to flat earth direction.
get closer together on a globe.
What? What the bloody hell are you babbling about? Closer together on what globe? You haven't shown us it. You've claimed there's an etheric model that's all-seeing and all-predicting. Now you've told me that when people travel antipodal in a direction that's planar, they'll meet. Nonsensical double speak much. You can't go south a direction on a plane and meet another person travelling antipodal on a sphere. That's a complete contradiction in terms. I keep forgetting. Dropped on your head much? Do you want to tell me how you go south and antipodal? You can't. Meanwhile, one of them is used in mapping and travelling. That'd be south. Now look at your compass and tell me how frickin' globe-shaped it isn't.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so you're just an idiot. So you realize that
Oh, I see. So you've picked somebody that you know is weak, so you can spout shite that you can't back in nonsensical double-speak contradiction in this instance, and then call that man an idiot. Oh, well, I already knew that would be coming because we've dealt with you before, haven't we? Full of bravado, full of piss, full of vinegar. Yeah, that's why I take great pleasure in calling you a spastic and describing you as having been dropped on your head. When you say gas go down, go boom boom, because of the describing, predicting, bent pseudo-Riemannian fourth-dimensional space-time Einsteinian geometry you appealed to earlier. You stupid spastic.
according to the
I'm not sure
globe,
why
there's
this
a
video
south
is called same old flat earth talking points when all I've heard is the same old globe talking points. Maybe he labeled this video wrong. I don't know. I haven't heard
right.
any new globe, new hotness from Mr. Peterson yet. So
What we did here is opponent asking twice, no less, unimpeded on his own video for the model that had been asserted to be all-knowing, and we didn't get it. What we did get was a barrage of obfuscation and then the opponent / guest being called an idiot when not accepting a description of something that's a contradiction in terms. That's a planar direction, south. An antipodal joining of two people. Well, where are they? Are you this person? Are we doing this journey, hypothetically? That's not a model. Your hypothetical example that you haven't demonstrated is not a fucking model. Yeah, that makes you a spastic. That's how I'm not stuttering around how spasticated you really are there, Peterson. That's because it's true and demonstrable based on the description I've just given of your current performance.
According to the globe, yes.
Okay, so that would mean that as you travel south in the southern hemisphere, all
That would be a contradiction in terms in one statement. South in the southern hemisphere. Go and grab a compass. Sorry, did that south on that compass look like it's downward? Like antipodal from north? I'm thinking it's two-dimensional. I'm thinking that's a contradiction in terms there, dum-dum.
paths south lead to a
But he's pointing down when he says south. Yeah, you think south is antipodal on a ball, failing to understand the creation of hemispherical models derived from angles measured off a flat Earth. In all instances. But you're pointing down, like that somehow makes your compass wrong? Learn how compass works, you stupid clown. Were you never a Boy Scout? Clearly not.
South Pole. Are you with me so far?
You'll need a flat plane of reference to describe a pole. That axis is with respect to a plane. Yo, Neil, you still here? Remember earlier when I told you our axial rotation would describe itself with a plane of reference always? Yeah, you'll need a flat earth for that, dum-dum. Don't use our stuff.
I'm here.
On a globe model, yes.
Yep. So that would mean as two people travel south, they get closer together in the southern hemisphere.
It's just going to keep using this contradiction in terms over and over again. I won't reiterate it every time. I just allude to the fact that he's done it.
Are you with me so far?
He can't be with you, travelling south and antipodal simultaneously. It's a contradiction in terms, you stupid shit for brains.
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, his opponent's with him. Very good.
Now on a flat Earth, no matter
Sorry, whoa. Why are you telling us what a flat Earth would do now?
where you are, if you travel south, you diverge from the other person. Are you?
What? If you travel south, you diverge from another person? What's he babbling about? South's a flat Earth only direction, you stupid man. Every example you've given, if it's going to make sense, will be travelling with respect to a plane of reference to go south. It's a flat Earth direction.
You with me so far?
Yeah.
Seek that agreement ladder with your opponent. Don't seem very confident. You're seeking affirmation from your opponent. When I say you're a shit for brains retard because you were dropped on your head after describing gas going down and planar directions, in this case south, that's not going to require me to ask if you understand or quote with me. I'll tell you, you stupid idiot. Yeah? With as much disdain as I can muster, because I know better than you. When I tell you what's what, Peterson, you utter retard. Yeah, I won't be seeking confirmation that you understand either. I'll tell you and you better damn well know it after I've told it you. And if you don't, you'll be told that you're a retard and to get lost, because you can't keep up. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, the fact is that in the southern hemisphere, if you go south, you...
Yeah, those two things are in polar opposition. You can't go south, a flat Earth direction, in the southern hemisphere. Yeah? South will be with respect to a plane. The southern hemisphere is a mathematical concept created with angle measurements off a plane. Hello? Look into how your religion's formed. Clown shoes? Not very well versed in your own sphere religion, are you?
You get closer together. You can take a look at cities that are, you can create a grid, two cities at the same latitude.
What's latitude? Anybody? What's latitude? It's a new term to me. Anybody heard of this latitude thing he's speaking of? How would we measure such a thing?
Elevation angles to the sun from level.
Polaris.
My bad.
And then two cities that are at a different latitude, but the
Measured on a flat plane. These are flat Earth concepts. Don't use our stuff. Why are you telling us about how flat Earth only concepts work? You don't get to use these anymore. Maybe you didn't get the memo, you stupid idiot. Don't use our stuff. If you're going to talk about how flat Earth isn't, you certainly don't get to use friggin' latitude.
same with respect to each other and on the same line of longitude.
So you don't get to use our flat Earth only measurements and mapping systems. These are ours, you stupid clown.
And the ones farther south are closer
South, you don't get to use that either. That's ours.
together. Globe confirmed.
What the bloody hell are you babbling about? You've just described a system that's flat Earth only to describe a contradiction in terms with antipodal descriptions of positions when moving south, a flat Earth only direction. And then you're suggesting that this hypothetical, in lieu of a model you've been asked for, spastic brain, is the confirmation of a globe you believe in. You are so stupid, it is untrue.
The thing is, you still haven't answered my question about.
I literally just
He can detect that the third rendition of being asked for the model's coming, can't he? So he needs to obfuscate and talk through him that he's already answered. You don't know what he's suggesting you haven't answered yet because you're talking immediately there, aren't you, coward?
You take a globe model.
Keep waffling, and then potentially it won't make it to the recording. What, the third repetition of you haven't shown us a model?
And you make that specific prediction.
Now he'll probably tell the guest off for interrupting him. You watch.
Then you go outside and the prediction comes true.
Yeah, I did that, didn't I, Peterson? Yeah, got quite a good laugh out of my panel.
We know what would happen if the Earth was flat. They'd be...
Do we? Yeah, we'd be measuring latitude and longitude with respect to it, wouldn't we? Yeah, you did! And you got told off for it, didn't you, shit for brains? Don't use our stuff is what I told you. It wasn't, do you understand? It was, don't use our stuff! Don't get to tell us Earth's not flat when using latitude. How dare you use our flat Earth measurements to infer in any way, shape or form that Earth isn't flat? Frickin' outrage!
Farther apart. They don't get farther apart.
Sorry, do you think when him attempting to tell you that what you haven't actually addressed, it needs another rendition of what we already heard? What a coward. Yeah, just keep your verbal diarrhea going and no one will notice that he's trying to get through when you gave him, what, 5 seconds of airtime?
Your model is falsified.
He didn't assert that he'd have a model, you did. Let's see if he picks up on it and suggests it in the last few seconds that he actually got.
Again, show me a small scale model.
It's called a globe.
Immediately interrupts him. We call that the fundamentalist religious zealot mute button, right? Peterson hears the guest saying, I've only asked you one question. I asked you for a model. Now, I don't know why he's now added small scale. Just model. Show us your model. You said it was all knowing, all seeing, all predicting, all scientific, all describing. Let's friggin' see it. But when he's being asked for the third time, he feels the need to justifiably, chant through him, talk straight through the top of him. What a coward. Yeah, every time someone says Nathan's got a mute button, what they actually mean is Nathan won't tolerate this shit that Peterson's now doing. Yeah, he'd be getting told off, wouldn't he? And what would Peterson be doing right now as I told him off for this shit? He'd be yammering through the top of me to the point where he'd have to be shut down by one of the moderators if we were in a neutral platform, like politics on a Friday. Yeah? Peterson be there yammering through the top of me, trying to obfuscate me, reiterating what a coward he is. For obfuscation of the third reiteration of this point by his guest. You didn't show any model, dickhead.
He'd be outside pointing at the sky saying, look, there's gas pressure without a container.
Yeah, but he used to come and round up people like that with straitjackets, Peterson. The rambling idiots stepping outside their front door to say, look, here's my all-seeing model. Yeah, along comes a little white van with a straitjacket and a net for you. Off to the nut house with him.
The Earth is not the small. You can't use the globe to prove the globe.
So what you do is you take a globe, which is a model.
Sorry, did you want to show us that? So you keep reiterating this all-seeing, all-knowing, predictive model and its descriptions and that. We're never going to get to see it, though, because you don't have one. Now, I don't mind reiterating that over and over again.
And then you use it to make predictions.
So where are you going to use it? You haven't used it yet. You didn't use it in examples that you answered a question that didn't get answered about the model being shown. So where is it? Oh, yeah, my bad. I went outside, didn't I? I didn't get to see it there either, Dundum.
About the real world out there. And
oh, I see. So I go out there and it's the real world, and in your mind it's globe-shaped, therefore going out there proves it's globe-shaped. Yeah, that's called begging the question. The lowest, dumbest, most idiot use of a fallacy that can be. Straight up begging the question. Otherwise known as assuming your outcome. Because you assume it's globe-shaped when you go outside it's globe-shaped. Well, even in his use of fallacy, he's stupid, isn't he? Not got much going on up there, eh, son?
And then those...
Can't form a better fallacy than, I think it's globe-shaped. How'd you prove it? Well, I go outside and assume it's globe-shaped, because that's the reality I assume it is. What a fucking retard. Go ahead, whoever that was.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe when he says, take the globe and go outside. I mean, where can you do that, right? You can just go to a classroom, take one of those desktop globes, and go outside, and there you go. You have all your predictions that you need. That's the most accessible place for a globe, right? I'm assuming that's what he means. So there's his model. Little desktop globe you can find in the store.
And as soon as he does that, that'll affirm the gas going down, go boom, boom, like the clouds that you're standing out looking at whilst you look at a model of a ball that's got no clouds going down, go boom, boom towards it.
Yes.
That's not what you do. You bring the globe outside from the classroom and you tap on it 3 times and you say, will it be raining later? The globe predicts whether it will or won't.
Maybe that's what they could do, tap on a classroom globe model and ask if it's going to rain later. I mean, it's all knowing and all predicting, and it'll describe what the weather will be like later, according to Peterson. I mean, obviously, he can now waffle on about how contradictory travelling south a direction on a plane will bring people together antipodally. Globe confirmed. That's what he's given in lieu of the model, because he's retarded.
Real-world predictions come true. It's been done countless times before.
For people like you and me and you, ba 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 ba. Jim will fix it.
Give me a physical small-scale model that the scientific method needs in order to make something a theory.
Could you try putting that in the form of a sentence, sweetie?
Oh, you've been watching Professor Dave and now feel that you need to piss this guy off like Dave pissed Lord Jamar off by calling him sweetie. You're just a freaking copycat, aren't you? You're an empty shell of a man with no personality. You're taking on Dave's personality, sweetheart. Oh my God.
Did Cupcake just call somebody sweetie?
Oh. It's almost like you need to grow a personality by taking the seeds of other people's. Oh my God. There is nothing unique about you, Peterson, right? You need your name in lights that you paid for, yeah, in Chinesium. That's what you need, don't you? It is so sad.
Is this guy trying to emulate Dave?
Give me a small scale
Yes, in essence.
model.
Well, that's a sad situation, isn't it?
It's a sad situation.
Of the Earth containing its water with your quote-unquote atmosphere as a container, so the scientific method can be used to prove that, yes, that's how the atmosphere holds the water, blah, 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 blah.
Sure, put water in a vacuum and watch it evaporate.
Sorry.
There, you can prove...
So you can prove that it go down. What an idiot.
Can you hear me, Nathan?
Yes,
Am I
Brian.
coming in okay? Yeah. I mean, that flat earth, I mean, his knowledge is through the roof. I mean, wow. What I mean, blah, da, da, blah, da, da, blah. That's what he just said to him. Scientific method, your model, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it has nothing to do with scientific method.
That's who they get. I mean,
Yeah.
that's who they need to be. That's who they need the fight to be with, right?
Yeah, someone who doesn't really know what they're talking about. The guy is right, the flat earther's right. As in, in essence, he's right. But he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's using terms that have no connection to each other and they have no relation in reality. It's like, whether gas pressure holds, it does anything. Look, it's just the whole thing is, like, is there any wonder that's who he has?
What this shows is that we're almost being a bit hard or too hard on the flat earther, right? It sounds like he's a fan of the show or the shows, or at some point, influence that we have had on this subject matter has rubbed off on this guy. So at some stage, it doesn't matter if it's by osmosis or just by it being in the arena because we've put it there. It doesn't matter why. He's spouting our rhetoric, isn't he? Just not very well. But it doesn't matter. With even that limited knowledge of what we cover here, he's still whipping Planet Peterson around by his short hairs, isn't he? He doesn't have to have a great exemplary knowledge. He's still beating him.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably shouldn't be giving him 2 hour decline. It's just that he's using scientific method there and blah, 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 referring to Peterson's carry on, his paradigm. It's just, I suppose I was probably jumping on it a bit hard. But he's still even with the limited ability he has or knowledge, so I should say, Peterson has still got his back against the wall.
Yeah, still
absolutely.
Exactly. He's still having to resort to tactics, Peterson, that is, to overcome him just repeating, well, where's your model? You haven't shown me. Oh, I've already explained it, and you guys have never been able to predict anything, over the top of him. You're like, right, so the guy's managing to get Peterson to resort to tactics on his own show with just the basic understanding of what we cover here. So, like, as much as we've gone, look at the low-hanging fruit he's gone for, well, this guy isn't doing it for a living like I'm doing it, or, hasn't dedicated the last 10 years of his life to it like Brian has. It's just some guy, right? But he's still managing to whip this guy around. Epic.
I shouldn't really point the finger.
Globe points. No, with his same old globe talking points, which is, again, funny that he called it same old fat earth talking points. I find that to be hilarious.
Yeah, and I shouldn't really point the finger, because the chances of me debating Planet Peterson are pretty slim. Unless he's going to pay me my fee, or unless somehow I end up against him on a very big platform that's worth my while being there. You know what I mean? It won't be happening. So I really shouldn't give out too much.
Well, he might come on
here.
He's welcome to join here, though. He might come here one day. Feel like he's got
exactly, yeah, or if he was on one of the Discords and I ran into him. But other than that, it wouldn't happen.
Right, any more comment on Planet Peterson? If not, I'm going to be rounding out. No? Fair enough. With that, I say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. A massive thank you to Discord and G Plus for making today's show possible. See you all in the next video.